So I figured since last week I really tore into a romantic comedy show, I feel like the only logical thing to do is to present what a good romantic comedy show looks like. Unfortunately, I haven't finished the one I'm watching right now. So we gotta look at what else there is to talk about. What else in the world of unrealistically pretty cartoon people hooking up is there to talk about? Well, how about a remake of one of the most popular romantic anime of all time? A series that features one of the most iconic waifus of all time, and the series you tell your friends you understood when you want to look smart at the bar. That's right, people. Today we're talking about Spice and Wolf, Merchant Meets Wise Wolf, aka we gave Spice and Wolf the Brotherhood treatment so we can make more Holo merch. Yes, this is a series that honestly needs no introduction. Spice and Wolf is so many people's introduction into anime that kind of shows it can be more intelligent and not really kiddie, or even have a lot of the typical elements you associate with anime. This is a medieval set fantasy series that honestly barely has any fantasy elements to it, and is for the most part about economics and entering towns that don't have really anything super outside of reality happening, but then seeing how those things build up. And also, most importantly, this is a series where the true star is not Holo, it's not Craft, it's got nothing to do with the world at all. The star of Spice and Wolf, as far as I'm concerned, is just the general sexual tension between these two characters, which is what we're going to talk about here today. Because I'll be straight up honest, I watched 25 episodes of this. I could not really tell you what is going on economically with what happened. I cannot really even tell you what most of the time they're talking about in this show. None of that really left a strong impact on me. However, I'm telling you all this right now, this will be on the best anime of the year list for the sheer fact that nothing was more entertaining this year than watching these two always be one step away from pushing the other onto the bed and just doing it right there. So let's talk about this. How did the show accomplish this? How was that able to pull you through literally every scene of the show? And also how we could learn from this going forward with other romantic anime. So the first thing that I think sets Spice and Wolf apart is that both characters are very well established in their personality. Craft is not a blank wish fulfillment character, and Holo is not just sort of like a perfect, pretty person all the time. I mean, she's perfect, if you know what I mean. But effectively, what this series does a very good job of establishing is that before we ever meet Holo, we show what makes Craft interesting. We show that he's intelligent, he's clever, he's charismatic, he knows how to learn things on the spot, he knows how to assess situations, he knows how to deal with things. But what's important is that it never feels so far out of the realm of reality. Craft is a smart guy, but you understand that he is a smart guy because of life experiences and his own drive to further his goals and move forward in life. That's not to say he isn't without faults, and you do see him deal with failure and how he doesn't always know the right thing to do, but it's always done in a way that makes him feel like a real person. You, as the audience, are immediately endeared to him, not because of his role in a romantic storyline, but because of just who he is as a person. Side note, I have been told that while I haven't seen the original anime or read any of the light novels, I am told Craft is a little boring in those other interpretations. While I can't speak to this myself, I think it just goes to show that if this is true, Studio Passion, a studio I have really shitted on in the past, really took the time to update the character and really add to his personality in order to make those cool traits shine through better. On the other end of the spectrum, we have Holo. Holo has one of the most genius entrances in all of anime. First up, she's naked. Second, this minute she shows up, you feel the ethereal magic of this world, the sense of wonder as this strange, beautiful creature that Craft has never seen before or could even have imagined really exists appears. Basically, it makes Holo seem important before she's even done or said anything. You are fascinated by what is in front of you as Craft has his entire sense of reality warped in front of him. But then, when we actually get a chance to meet Holo, we see that, like Craft, she's got just a great personality. She's fun. She's playful. She's always like the kind of person who is thinking things through, but doesn't always take everything that seriously. She's always kind of like flirty with him, but they do a good job of showing that she's fascinated by how he gets through life just on his wits. She is a great character, and the fact that you have now taken the time to establish these two and allow them to come together, I think is where our great setup begins for this series. The next thing that really helps is that the world is simple. There aren't a ton of supernatural elements really at play in this series. If I'm correct, I think like at one point we meet another bad wolf. We've got Holo's powers. We have little insinuations, but by keeping the world simple and easygoing, it keeps the focus on these two. Every arc is about them going to a new town, learning about the situation, getting wrapped up in the problem, and then using their wits to solve it. This very simple setup allows for all that time in between to be filled in with their banter, one learning about the other, one just being naked. I cannot stress how much this show takes advantage of nudity. It's awesome and I loved it. But yeah, no, this is what the show does best. The focus is these two. Everything they go through is because of each other. They're always learning about each other. They're always growing. They always have to confront each other about how they're feeling at the time. And that sense of growing romance is always present from episode 1 to episode 25 to hopefully episode 100. I hope we get to see, I don't actually know how long Spice and Wolf is, but I just really enjoyed watching the two of them. Nothing else mattered. Nothing else was important. What mattered to this show was Holo and Craft. That's it. Also, ladies, I would have to say Craft is pretty good looking too, so you get some stuff to enjoy there as well. Also, side note, favorite Holo moment in the show was probably when that blonde chick in the second arc was flirting with Craft, and you just see Holo's ears popping up like every time she like gets a little flirty with him. What I liked about that was you don't have to notice this. It is never directly addressed. It is such a neat little aspect of the animation that they don't put a lot of attention on. Again, it just endears you to the world so much more. As for the visual style, the animation of this show is really nice. A lot of nice colors, a lot of pretty designs. I have seen images of the original anime. It's very of its era, but I feel like anime in that early 2000s era, there was this nice pre-digital but post kind of roughness that I felt like kind of gave this really unique look that I think we kind of never got back just as like the technology evolved. Stuff like this, the original Full Metal Alchemist, there is just like a visual flair there that I have this appreciation for. But yeah, for the most part, this show looks very good and it always knows how to make its budget count. As for problems, because we should probably address that as we always do, biggest flaw by far, like I said, you don't really care about what's happening, or at least I didn't. And considering most of the reaction I saw to this show was either thirst or just enjoying the banter, I kind of have a feeling not a lot of people really do. But I imagine if you are into it, the nuggets for you to follow are there. However, if you are more into the characters and would just like for the plot to be presented to you so you can just get through it, yeah, I was kind of lost, especially in that last arc. It had something to do with a snake or something. I don't really care. But yeah, there's that. Other than that, no, I can't really think of anything too wrong with this. It is a show about these two people as they fall in love. It is what every episode is about, is what, for the most part, every scene is about. And the show does that, in my opinion, incredibly. If you haven't done yourself the service of watching Spice and Wolf, please give it a try. You will be reminded what it is like to watch two cartoon characters thirst for each other as you're there feeling a little something something. So yeah, give me your thoughts about that in the comments section below. And as always, click to like, click to subscribe, and join me next week where we find more cartoon characters to get horny for.